In 2022, the Under-17 European Championships were held in the Middle East. Unsurprisingly, France emerged victorious with a talented team that is now beginning to make their name at Europe's biggest clubs. Jean-Noël Bellassin, the promising fullback who joined Bayer Leverkusen in June 24, is expected to excel under Xabi Alonso. Matthias Tel, the striker we all know, is set to lead the line for Bayern Munich for the next decade. Next up is Desire Doue, an incredibly talented dribbler who, like his national teammates, is now joining one of the biggest clubs in Europe, Paris Saint-Germain. What you may not know is that all of these players came through the same club that also produced Ousmane Dembélé, Eduardo Camavinga and Jeremy Doku. It's not a bad list. Stade Rennes is the team with the great youth system, and Rennes' success can be attributed to their clear pathway from the academy to the first team and the meaningful playing time for the players once they arrived. Doué made his debut at 17 and quickly became a regular starter, shining at both centre mid and then left wing. Paris Saint-Germain has added another midfield star to play alongside Warren Zaire Emery, Joao Neves and Vitinha. But what does Doué offer that those others can't do? In his first season with Rennes, Doué played under Bruno Genesio as a midfielder. Despite his age, he learned to use his 6-foot frame to devastating effect. He perfected the ability to receive the ball with his back to goal, use his incredible dribbling to evade tacklers, and dribble 50 to 60 yards up the field. In the image, you'll see the goalkeeper plays the ball into Doué with the defender on his heels. In this instant, Doué can use his excellent dribbling and large frame to turn and drive up the field. Now when he drives forward, it's with power and guile, a raw combination, with either foot, making him incredibly unpredictable and impossible to stop. It sounds simple, I know, but it's an incredibly rare skill only the best midfielders have in their arsenal. It's because it allows a team to beat a press, and by doing so, you transition to attack whilst not allowing the opposition to retain their defensive shape. Within a year of playing and developing in the first team, he glided forward, skipping past tackles into the final third before linking up with his attackers. Out of all players to have 50+ successful dribbles, Desire Doue had the best dribble success rate. He is the best in Europe at beating his man and driving up the field. It's a very similar role to what Angel Di Maria did after he moved from left wing to centre mid. We need to talk about the numbers because Doué had 4 progressive carries per game, but with a progressive carrying distance of 165. That means each progressive carry was on average around 40 meters. Nearly every single time he would take the ball into the final third, and half the time he would take it into the penalty area. These are elite numbers, and you can see by the percentile stats how good he was. There's one thing to love about Doué, not just the fluidity in which he moves, but the way he attacks space in the final third. When teams had space on the wing, he was comfortable dribbling into it to create space for other attackers before cutting it back or laying it off. It's one of the reasons that the next season under Julian Stéphan, he began playing at left wing in the second half of the season. To analyse Doué's performance at left wing, we need to understand the 2 types of wingers: off-the-ballers and dribblers. Off-the-ballers have, don't be shocked by this, excellent off-the-ball movement, making relentless runs behind fullbacks or into the half space. They possess a wonderful first touch and aim to get into the opposition box to pick a pass or to take a shot on. They're the best types of wingers as they get into those dangerous zones and rack up goals and assists. Dribblers prefer to hug the touchline and receive the ball to their feet. Operating from this position, they encounter an organised backline and often need to dribble past several players to enter the box. To excel in this role, they must deliver wide crosses or cut inside to take a shot. Unfortunately, Doué is the latter, plagued by a terrible addiction that plagues many wingers. They're addicted to beating their defender. This significant difference in the end product is evident when we compare his performances to that of Nico Williams. The radar helps highlight the importance of off-the-ball movement and the ineffectiveness of dribbling wingers. Despite Doué's much better take-on success rate, Nico Williams touched the ball more in the opposition box. Where defenders can foul Doué outside the box when they struggle, they can't do the same with Williams. They'd concede a penalty. Doué doubled the open play chances of Williams, but he only had 1/3 of the expected assists from open play. The chances created inside the box are much better, including that highly effective cutback. Being able to cross with your weaker foot is essential for a dribbling winger too, a skill that Doué lacked. And now the goals. Doué scored 4 goals in 23-24 with the following XG: 0.02, 0.05, 0.07, 0.08. That combined to a 0.22 XG. Lucky. Williams' exceptional performance in all scoring metrics suggests that Doué's future may not be as a winger. Although Doué is a skilled winger, he does not possess the quality of a world-class winger, that effective off-the-ball movement and clinical finishing. Although Doué is young and has potential for development, the instinct and drive to attack the space behind the defence is hard to teach. It would be unfair to him to continue playing in that role. If positioned as the most advanced player in a midfield trio, Doué would have more time on the ball and be able to create chaos more effectively from a central position. Either way, he needs to improve his end product. We showed the areas Doué dribbles to when he picks up the ball, into the final third and into the edge of the box. How well does he score and create from those positions? In terms of goals in 22-23, playing under Bruno Genesio, Doué didn't get into the box enough, because when he did, he scored, converting 3 of his 8 shots. Unfortunately, Doué wasn't great from outside of the box, as he failed to convert any of his 14 shots, and none of them had a higher XG of 0.1. In his second season at left wing, he only scored 1 more goal, despite nearly taking twice the amount of shots. In terms of goal scoring, he's better suited to a central position, but he needs to improve on getting into the box. Now, his dribbling ability allows him to create high quality chances as a playmaker. Doué can create opportunities by taking the ball and driving up the field, which forces defenders to move out of position and create space for his teammates. This allows him to make simple, progressive passes and slide players through on goal with well-weighted balls. One aspect of his passing that stands out is how unselfish he is. Young wingers often tend to over-dribble into danger and try and force a shooting opportunity. I'm sure you've watched Garnacho too, but Doué always has his head up and looks to pass. His decision making, especially for a 19-year-old, is one of his best skills. However, he still has the freedom and brilliance of a 19-year-old, that creativity, as he creates opportunities with tricky passes, back heels, chip balls and reverse slip balls. It's a riskier style of passing, but it's highly effective. As he develops and works on this, it will only improve. He was responsible for creating 12 goal-scoring opportunities for Stade Rennes, making him one of only 5 teenagers to hit double figures. Luis Campos has come into PSG and revitalised this plagued midfield. They've gone from fielding an incredible but often injured Marco Verratti alongside subpar players such as Paredes, Soler, Draxler and some other riffraff, to one of European football's most exciting young midfields today. Joao Neves is a defensive wonderkid, Warren Zaire Emery is a silky passer developing at an alarming rate, and Vitinha is exceptional at everything. In Doué, they've added a central attacking player who can skip past players with devastating skill and look to contribute in the final third. Regarding comparisons, Eberechi Eze and Jamal Musiala are both excellent shouts. These players can play on the wing but create havoc from the midfield with their exceptional dribbling and ability to drag players out of position. Doué has the added benefit of being a robust, determined tackler who works hard off the ball. As part of that quartet in PSG's midfield, Doué should look even better.